And we're back. We're doing it again, talking about another region. And this time we're going to be talking about the 3A South. And if there's any kind of region in this division to talk about, the 3A South is the one to talk about. Coming in as the strongest region this season in the whole division. And why not with leaders such as Push Ridge, Sabino, Thatcher.
And at first, I never used to believe you until you actually started. We actually started going to the games, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is definitely the region to beat.
The dirty one.
Yes,
the dirty ones with the dirty guns. So, we had briefly talked about this team last conversation or last show. Touching base on Morenci. This is their first time actually moving up into the 3A. They've been 2A. They didn't get the championship, but they had been a solid team for this past couple of years in the 2A. Mm-hmm. So they flip-flop kind of with Benson, which was interesting to see that. Hopefully they'll all reunite at some point in time and just move back together. So I'm looking forward to that. But getting right into this is actually Rashard Davis's return.
Yep.
Coming from one of your squads, the Santan Valley. I was like going to say, no, Santa Cruz Valley.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, Santa Cruz Valley. There we go.
You threw me off.
Yes,
I'm like,
there we go.
Whoa.
Well,
like, something's not right here.
Everybody in Santa Cruz and be like, what's this dude talking about?
Yeah, well, but no, he's a Pinal guy.
State champion, too.
Yeah,
well.
you know.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? First black guy to actually get it.
Yeah.
In the state of Arizona. So congratulations, Rashad. But yeah, definitely. So he's going to come back. He's returning. They are actually returning, currently ranked by Max Prep at 46. They'll starting off the season off at ALA Ironwood at 152. They're going to stay out on the road as they go up against Round Valley. Not to mention they're going to stay on the road, go to Benson, which is 112. Round Valley actually was 77th just because I missed that. And they're going to stay on the road to go visit Pima as well, so 27. So which is interesting because it's back-to-back. I mean, the first – and normally what you'll see is a lot of these teams, and I want to make sure that this is right because actually we got 6 games on like, so we might want to look that up to be correct on this.
Well, sometimes that happens because I've seen like I think it was Sequoia Pathway last year had only 4 home games. So it sometimes happens. It's just the way it falls.
Starting off 4 games, I mean, they don't even see their home field until mid-September. So I mean,
that's tough.
That's a tough one right there. I mean, a lot of road between, especially if you've ever been out to Morenci. So a lot of road there. Then they get a host at home, Blue Ridge, who's actually 113th on the rankings. They get to stay right there, pretty kind of not that far away home. From Safford, they're ranked number 99th coming into that. Then they get back on the road. They play Push Ridge, who's ranked 31. Fountain Hills at 119. Sabino ranked 50. And then Thatcher, the big gun last year, 21, who only lost in the finals against Eastmark. Yeah. Yep. So definitely but with all that said, they got Morenci ending the season at 7-3. And they come in playing a pretty strong, pretty strong, solid schedule.
I was going to say, it's pretty it's a pretty good schedule. I mean, this whole region alone has a strong schedule.
Schedules, man.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, I actually have them right around there, 7-3, possibly maybe a little bit better, just depending on, there's still some teams that you got to see like Pima. I'm not sure exactly. Right. They graduated a lot of players last year, so I'm not sure what the return there would be. But for me, I'd say like 7-3, or if not, I'd give them 8-2.
I mean, I think there's a lot of question marks when you talk about some of these small town kind of teams, like we've discussed about it. Who's there? Who's coming back? Who's the key components and so on. And with Morenci, I'm going to have to put a big question mark on it, obviously, because I don't know who's coming back. I have even though they're one of the teams in the region that I cover, it is a team that I'm not that familiarized with. Some of these teams, and maybe this wasn't one of them, but there's a lot of teams, and we know this, that don't post stats, that don't post rosters, that don't give us as people who are trying to help out those programs on a media aspect. They don't really give us the tools that we might need. And I don't know as if Morency's one of those, but, just a kind of heads up, I don't really know quite what's returning there. I do know that the next team, which is Push Ridge, who's returning, lost a lot of strong key components.
Right.
My man Will Way, who was a lineman, just as well as so many other weapons. Now they do get to keep their quarterback, which is going to be a good thing. But just running over this, Push Ridge comes in, Max Prep's ranking at 31. They get to start out their season against Sholo, who's a beast at NAU. So they're going to take a trip. Why these two teams are taking the trip? But I guess there's a big, huge thing going on at NAU, which we might have to take a trip, man.
I mean, we might not get to stream the game just because it'll probably be under the NFHS banner, so they'll already have that. But just to take the trip, and I mean, I got two teams in the 3A region as well, or 3A division.
Just covering them.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of teams going up there, so might be something to kind of look into.
We might have to do that. Might have to go on a little road trip to Flagstaff and head for
I mean,
cooler
they're Saturday games, so.
and it's cooler.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're gonna be mad at that. But they're gonna start that off with, as I was mentioning, at NAU against Sholo, who was ranked 35th. Then they have Benjamin Franklin, who's 124th. Then they're gonna get back on the road, head all the way out to Yuma to play 115, who's ranked 115. Catalina Foothills, which is currently ranked 92nd. Then they have Santan Foothills, which is a Thursday game.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to play them. They're ranked 100th. Then you're getting into the meat and potatoes of it all. You got the Push Ridge at Sabino, who was ranked 50, as we mentioned. Also, Morency, 46. Then you have Coolidge, a game that we talked about earlier, at 136. And then Thatcher, 21, and Safford, 99. Now, they have Push Ridge coming in at a 9-1. I don't think that's going to be a realistic one. I think that they're still a above 500 kind of team.
I think so.
But I don't think you're going to get that 9-1 dominance with losing all the key components and factors that they did just this last year. Now, can they reload? Absolutely. But I just don't. I don't know if they'll be able to hang with that much.
And see, yeah, I'm definitely going to agree with you there. I'd say, at best, I give them a 7-3 on the year, or like a 6-4. You got the Sholo game, you got the game of with Morency where you got two teams. You're not really sure how they're going to play against each other, and then of course you got that Thatcher game. So there's definitely a lot of games where they're going to have to play their best football if they want to have a 9-1 record. But I just don't see it so far from what I'm getting from Push Ridge.
Right, so we're both kind of on the same.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and then we're going to go off and we're going to talk about Sabino. Coming in the season ranked 50, and they're going to start off their season with a game that we're kind of circling here, which is against Coolidge at Coolidge, who's ranked 136. Then they have their district rival at Saguaro, who's ranked 120. Then they have Crisman, the question mark, at 193. Then they got the Micah Mountain game at Micah Mountain. That's going to be a great game.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Versus they're ranked at number 87 coming into the season. Safford ranked 99th. And then they're going to get into that Push Ridge game we just talked about, where they're ranked 31st. They got Thatcher also as well, who's ranked 21. ALA West Foothills at 90, or who's currently ranked 93rd. And Morency, who was ranked 46, as we discussed as well. And then Mojave, which will be a home game, who's ranked 74th. Now, Max Prep's got this game, or this season, at 7-3. Now, my question is that when it comes to skill players, I think they're the top.
Yeah.
Probably by hands down the top in 3A.
No, most definitely.
Skilled players. Now, the question becomes, my little question mark here is, how's the line? I don't know how the line is. I think that they have such speed and everything behind the line that I think they can get away with not having such a dominant line, but they might have a very solid and fit line just as well. I'm not going to lie. They're probably one of my teams to pick to win the region.
Right.
A good shot to actually finally make it to the playoffs. I mean, not only the playoffs, but the championship game possibly. I think, as always, Thatcher becomes a question mark because they're a team that stays quiet up there in them hills.
Yeah.
And they come back.
And I think for me, the two big games that I would probably circle would be the Thatcher game, but also the Micah Mountain game. Outside of those two games, I think that they could possibly win the rest of them. So I would say I would have them finishing at 8-2.
Well, yeah, I would have to agree with you. My only two speed bumps here. Once again, the Crismon speed bump. Question mark that we don't know. But other than that, I think Thatcher and Micah Mountain are the two that throw the biggest.
Oh, definitely.
Obstacles at Sabino. So yeah, could I see 7-3? Actually, this is one I might even say could actually obviously do better.
Yeah, most definitely. I would definitely agree with that.
Then we run over with Safford, and Safford's coming in on this one ranked 99th. They're going to start their season out at Payson, who's ranked 97th. That should be a great game. Then they play Pima, who's ranked 27th. We're not quite sure how many people have come and gone in that. Obviously, a state championship team there.
Right.
Then they have Florence, who we discussed them playing that game earlier in a different episode. Then we have them playing Rincon, which is interesting. Rincon's come and dropped down, obviously, from that 5A down to the 4A. So I'm really interested to see how Rincon will do. Sabino, who we just talked about. Then they got Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge is always an interesting one. And once again, this looks like a really good schedule from what I'm kind of seeing, challenge-wise for Safford. But might actually be, as we get down here, we'll talk about it here. Blue Ridge, then they have Morenci at 46, Round Valley at 77th. Then they go at Thatcher, who's ranked 21st, and then Sabino, who we were talking about just recently, at 50th. They got Max Preps got them Safford ending up this season at 2-8, and you know what? It might be kind of where it's at because the two wins that it's giving them is, and it might actually not be. It could be worse. No. I was looking if I could see if it was going to be Crismon again, but they're not in there. Rincon becomes obviously one of the conversation pieces on this one here. They have to win that game. I think Payson becomes a real obstacle for them, as well as Blue Ridge. And if they can do something there, they could probably break the 2-8. But
I don't see it much higher.
I mean, something's got to change.
Right.
I'm not saying that Safford can't do anything or can't beat this. But as of what we would know, we'll go shooting in the dark. I'd probably have to say that this is about right.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like I said, probably the game changer game would be the Payson game. And I mean, outside of that one, Round Valley is always a good team. And like you say, Pima, what type of team are they going to be?
It's just,
and it's a tough one.
It's just one after another.
And if you look at it, they have the second strongest schedule in the region. So definitely a tough schedule for Safford. So I would agree and say somewhere between 2-8, 3-7.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard one for Safford. But we'll see what happens, what they can pull together. I mean, give them a challenge and see what they come up with.
Yeah, most definitely.
So, and to finish off the region, who we're going to talk about is none other than, the one who just didn't quite get the championship but made it all the way there, undefeated all the way up to that moment, Thatcher. And my guy, Coach Jones over there, he'll tell us, he goes, hey, every year, he's like, man, we reload. Those kids do nothing but work out and everything like that. So we'll see what happens.
He ain't lying, though.
Yeah, he's right. But they're going to start off at Paradise Honors. Then they're going to go ahead and stay home when they play Crismon, the team that we don't know. They have Valley Christian after that, which is going to be an away trip. Then Round Valley. And then they're going to take a road trip to go play Yuma Catholic.
That should be a good one.
They're always tough.
That is going to be a good one.
I mean, if you look at those games right out the gate, those are not those are hard games. But this is like what we were talking about.
Well, then you get a team like Thatcher, though. They can pull it out, though. That's the crazy part about them.
They just play big man football.
They do.
Then you got Solo. After that, Sabino at 50. Safford at 99. Push Ridge comes in, which will be a away game at 31. And Morenci at 46. Now, the prediction is Thatcher to go 10-0. And as much as I love Coach Jones, and I picked last year for them to go 10-0, which was a ballsy pick or prediction for me. I don't see it this year. It's just brutal. The schedule that they have, obviously the strongest schedule that's in the region. I mean, once again, you got Paradise Honors right out the gate, Valley Christian, Round Valley, Yuma Catholic, Sholo. I mean, it's like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
like you got all the best of 3A. Yeah. If you want to know who the best in 3A is, just go look at Thatcher's schedule.
Most definitely.
It's nasty. I mean, it's just nasty. But yeah, so I mean, it could be an interesting thing. I think that, like I said, that's the team that I'd have them and Sabino kind of battling for this region. But that would be my. I don't know who I'd pick on that, and I think we'll have to see as we see them play each other. I mean,
they play October 6th, so that'll be the one to kind of circle
that,
there.
Guys.
Yeah, because I'm in agreement with you. You know, I could see them possibly losing 2, maybe 3, depending on the Sabino game. But then again, you never know with Thatcher. Like I said, they surprise you every single year. You know, that a lot of people didn't know how they were going to do jumping from 2A to 3A, and they just continue to establish their dominance. So I'm not really sure, you know, because like I said, the 3 games that I would circle is the Sholo, Sabino, and the Yuma Catholic game as the hardest ones that they will face. But at the same time, I will sit there and say it could go either way.
I mean, I think my biggest kind of thing here is with Sabino, there's not a question. There's not a question that they have the skilled players. But Thatcher plays that molassesly slow, big man football.
They beat you down.
Which takes the clock, which just it milks it as much of it as it can. So it's going to be really interesting when that game comes around, how and who or whatnot shows up on that game. I think that's definitely a W that Sabino has to get against Thatcher. But who knows? I think this is going to be a great region.
Oh, yeah.
Some great games in here. Like, I mean, Yuma Catholic and Thatcher, like you had mentioned, Micah Mountain, Sabino. These are some great games that you're going to see in this region, and always exciting. And you know what? That's what it's all about down in Southern Arizona.
Absolutely.
So, but other than that, was there anything else you needed to say on this?
No, I think you said it all. I'm excited, man.
I'm excited to see this one as well.
Like I said, August can't come fast enough.
Well, we're going to get out of here, and we'll go ahead and cover our next one. Y'all be good.